everyone. I am Lars. This is Sigrit. We are Fire Saga.
Who wants to hear a Eurovision song?
Well, coming up on Netflix this week is a new film starring big movie stars Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. It's called Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga. And this is based, for those of you who don't know, and many Americans certainly don't know because they don't take part in this, but this is an annual contest all through Europe. It's wild, it's outrageous, it's crazy. This is not just singers getting up there. It's not America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent or any of those kinds of shows. Anything goes, outrageous costumes, sets, the bigger the better.
All of Iceland think
We are a joke.
That's not true.
and my father is ashamed of me.
No, he's not.
He looked me into the eyes and said, I am ashamed of you.
Maybe he was drunk.
He said, and you might think that I'm drunk, but I am dead sober.
Idiot.
Will Ferrell also co-wrote the movie with a former Saturday Night Live colleague, Andrew Steele. They've written many movies together in the past. And when you see Will Ferrell's name on a screenplay, some of his best movies actually he had a hand in writing. Anchorman, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, Night at the Roxbury. He has a natural talent for knowing what works for him as a comedian. So here he is involved in the making of Eurovision, and he's got, some funny stuff in it. It is way over the top, though. It could have used some sensibility in going too far sometimes. Too many off-color kind of things he throws in. I won't go into details on him. You're going to see this movie anyway if you're a Will Ferrell fan. Here he plays Lars Eriksson. He, as a young kid, he didn't say much, but once he was watching the Eurovision contest on TV with his family and his father, who is played here, by the way, by Pierce Brosnan, and he became infatuated. He started dancing in front of the TV as someone was singing ABBA's song Waterloo. And the only other person who got what this kid was doing was a young girl there that also said nothing. He didn't even know her, but she starts dancing and singing along with him too. That would be Sigrit, Eric's daughter, and she's played by Rachel McAdams. Well, cut years later, they are now a duo. They're performing and they're doing their songs, most notably Ya Ya Ding Dong, and other songs that have become little anthems in this small fishing village that they live in Iceland. An accident cuts out all of the contenders, and who gets chosen to represent Iceland in Eurovision? But yes, you got it, Lars and Sigrit, and it's got a sweet underpinning here, as many of the Will Ferrell comedies do. You know what? He believes in these characters, so you have to too if you're going to buy into this at all.
Officially, Fire Saga will be representing Iceland at Eurovision this year.
I hate them.
Absolutely terrible. They're old, disgusting people. But we have no choice.
So we're in. Yep.
This movie's over long at a little bit over 2 hours. It could have been much tighter at 90 minutes, lost a lot of the dick jokes and things like that, and it would have been better off. The film is directed by David Dobkin, who did a couple of really good movies that I like. The Judge with Robert Downey Jr. and Wedding Crashers, which of course Will Ferrell was in and Rachel McAdams was in. So he knows his way around comedy. He also knows his way around music. He's done a lot of music videos, Maroon 5 and others, and the musical sequences are staged very well. I mean, you have to understand, to recreate Eurovision, this is a huge television production, and he does very well with that. Best of all, though, about this, I thought, is Dan Stevens, who you might remember from Downton Abbey and many other films. I didn't know he was so adept at comedy. His character is the most grounded, and because of that, he's the funniest. You actually see him as a real human being here. He plays Alexander Lemetov. He's the Russian contestant, been in this many times, sort of invites Lars and Sigrit into his world, to his mansion there, shows them the ropes of the competition, basically, encourages them in a kind of funny way. He's really good in this movie. The supporting cast is fine. They give it their all. For Will Ferrell fans, look, this doesn't reach up to the level of his best movies. It does have some funny moments, mostly a lot of stupid moments, but that's what you expect here. And characters that these actors bring to life, as stupid as it can be and as unrealistic as it can be. Nevertheless, Eurovision is going to open your eyes to something I never knew about, and I'm sure as hell going to look it up on the internet now and check it out. Check out what this whole thing's about. So for Will Ferrell and all those others who like following this guy, I say watch.